All right, you guys, so we are going to be going through the second project in the Photoshop packet today, which is to create a image of anything really. I'm going to do one of an animal, like this owl right here. Or you could do a person, you could do an object. I thought about doing a toaster for a minute for some reason. Maybe there's a specific car you'd like to do. Anything you're interested in. You're going to take a thing, some kind of object, and create it out of text. Okay? So, first things first, you are going to go online and you're going to find an image of whatever object you'd like to make. I'm going to make a penguin this time. You're going to copy that image. And then you're going to go into Photoshop and create a new document. Now, what you're going to notice is there's this option right here called clipboard. If you've selected the image already that you're going to be using, the clipboard will automatically grab the dimensions needed to fill that image. So if I say create, and then I do the paste, see, my penguin fits in there nice and snugly. Everybody's happy. All right, the first step to creating this project is to isolate the penguin from the background. So we need to delete everything that's in the background so that we can have a nice white background, and then we could maybe fill it in with a different color if you wanted to later. So you're going to go over here. Remember, this section is your selection section. We have our shaped marquee tools, so rectangular, circle. We have the polygon lasso tool, regular lasso tool. We're actually going to use this thing right here called the Smart or Quick Selection tool, okay, which works really well when selecting areas that have a hard line, so a really strong definition between the subject and the background. See how big my cursor is right here? I'm going to, on my keyboard, select the little brackets next to the P key on the right. There's one that brackets to the left and one that brackets to the right. You can really quickly make this smaller or larger. You can also use this with the brush tool. If you notice up here, the numbers are changing as I do that. So you could also go up here and make your size smaller that way, but I'm going to use my brackets. Now I'm just going to select all the penguin. All I did was click once, and it really smartly, that's why it's a smart selection tool, selected all of the penguin. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to do some cleaning up though. I want to clean up in here. I'm going to take my magnifying tool, going to make it plus, and sneak in so I can see a little bit better. Go back up to my quick selection tool. Is it quick or smart? I always mix it up. Quick selection tool. And my size is too big again, so I'm going to make it smaller. And now I need to do something different. Instead of adding on to the area that I have selected, I need to subtract from it. And if you look up here, there's one sign that says plus and one sign that says minus. I want the minus one. Like everything else in Photoshop, there is a keyboard shortcut. If I hold down Alt, which is also Option, see, I'm pressing it, letting it go, I can toggle between the two options, which makes it really easy and quick. So if I'm holding down Option, I can now click in here and then can start to go back on the penguin. See how I went a little bit too far? This is when being able to let go, making it smaller, and then add back to it is really helpful. It's a little bit of a give and take. Okay, pretty good. Right, now this was happening on the other side too. Hitting Option, erasing out. Got a little bit too far. Let's bring it back down. And this doesn't have to be completely perfect. You want the basic outline of your object, whatever it is. Okay, the head looks good. But at the same time, you don't want it to have like a really rough edge. You want it to look nice. Just gonna finish this up. Feet are okay like that. Perfect. Zoom out so we can get a good view of what we're dealing with. Okay, so now I have my penguin selected. So if I were to hit delete right now, having my layer selected, I would delete my penguin. I don't want to delete my penguin. I want to delete everything else around it. So I'm going to hit Command Z, go back in time. And then up here in this menu bar, I'm going to click on Select, which is going to allow me to alter what I have selected. And then if I hit Deselect, it'll make my selection go away. Don't want that. I'm going to hit Inverse, which is going to select everything opposite. It's like I'm inverting my selection. So it doesn't really look like anything has happened, but what I've done is I'm selecting everything outside of the original shape. Okay. Now I'm going to hit Delete. Beautiful. Now I just have a penguin. Okay. Now I want to hit Deselect. All right, so just like in the last project that we did, every time you add something to your image, you are going to want to create a new layer, but we are going to be adding text to the image, and automatically when you add text, it creates a new layer. So we can just select this little T right here for text. And then if you click on the image somewhere, notice how it created a new layer. That's a T layer, this is a text layer. Okay. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to figure out what font I want to use to create my penguin. If you look at the sheet in the packet, I say to use only one or two colors plus black and white to try to keep it simple. If you want to make your image completely black and white, then that's fine, and call me over and I'll help you desaturate your image. It's really quickly, it happens really quickly, and you can make it black and white. I'm going to leave it because my penguin is pretty much black and white, but I like that little bit of orange right there. I want a kind of bubbly font. This one looks happy. Penguins are happy. I'll use this one. Okay, let's see. You can decide if you want to use all capitals, lowercase. I'm going to use all capitals. Okay, I have penguin. Now I want to fill the belly of my penguin with this word penguin. There are a lot of ways to do this. You can keep it really simple and have just a few words fill out your object. You can layer the words on top of each other in order to create different values. Kind of like, I'm going to go back to this owl really quickly. See, like in this area, I layered a few sections of owl text over each other to make it look darker. It's up to you what style you'd like to use. I think it was penguin. Yep. Okay, penguin. I'm going to make my penguin font bigger. So I'm going to go back to text. Okay. Since I'm on the right layer, this is still going to be selected. I'm going to make it bigger, 72. Maybe I need to be even bigger than that. This doesn't go bigger than that, but I can still go up here and type in maybe 85. Let's see. It's pretty good. Yeah, okay. Now I can decide, do I want to make strips of the penguin going across, or do I want to take this, hit Command T, which is free transform. You also can create, there's a select up here under edit, you can go free transform. I like using Command T because it's quick. Makes this little box. Remember from Illustrator, you can do a hook tool right here at the corner. I don't know if what's that called, but when it makes that little hook, you can then rotate penguin. Maybe I want to make only one word of penguin. For the sake of time, I'm going to do it this way. So less penguins, meaning the word penguin. I'm going to grab these and I'm going to start stretching this out to fill in the space. Good. It's pretty good. All right. Now, I'm going to show you something pretty cool, which is going to make the penguin word look like it's wrapping around the belly of the penguin, which will make it look kind of rounded and three-dimensional. I'm going to, before I can do anything else, whenever you do free transform, you have to hit enter in order for it to finalize what you've done. So then you can move on to something else. So if you still have that little box up there, you have to hit enter. I'm going to go over to my layer, my penguin layer. I'm going to right click, which is control click on it, and see this button right here says rasterize type. If I click that, now my penguin word isn't going to act as text anymore. It's just going to act as an image of the word penguin, which will make it easier to manipulate. I'm going to go back to Control T, I'm now going to right click on there. See, it says frequent transform. I'm going to go down and press this button that says warp. And once again, there's so many ways to do everything in Photoshop, so there isn't one correct path. I like using this way because you have a lot of control over it. If you wanted to try something else, that's fine. Just let me know what you figure out. I would love to learn a new technique. Okay, I'm going to grab onto some of these points and I'm going to start kind of fitting my words around the shape. Okay, so this is kind of working like that curve tool. Remember we did the curved pen tool in Illustrator? And I'm gonna, if I go out too far or I don't like the way it's looking, I can just go back and kind of fit this. Maybe I'm gonna fill my penguin down here. Okay, I think it's looking pretty cute. There we go. What do you think? All right, so it's still in a transform mode, so I have to hit enter to get out of it. Okay, and now if I ever want to see how this is looking without my image, go over here to where the image is, layer 1, and I can hit my little eyeball. There, I have a penguin belly that says penguin. Okay, maybe I want to change the color of this. To a different color. No. If I select, let's actually learn how to use the eyedropper tool. Over here on the left, see that it looks like a tube with a squeeze top, kind of like a turkey baster. It's an eyedropper. If you select this, you can go over and select any colors. Right now I have this one selected. If I then go to black, notice how the bottom of the semicircle is the old color and this is the new. That's that orange. Can drag it over everything. I'm going to find like a grayish color. Kind of like the color I had up here because it has a little bit more value. Click that. Hang. Paint bucket tool. Fill it. Fill in everything. Unfortunately, I can't really see it that well because it's very close in value to the image, but if I were to delete this, I can now see penguin in a penguin color. Maybe I want to make all the different letters, different colors. We'll deal with that more after. Let's finish building our penguin. I want to do the head next. I'm going to get in closer so I can see a little bit better. Hello, Mr. Penguin. Okay, new font, new text, penguin. Oh, I want this to be black. Up here, if you're still typing, this is how you change the color. It's up top there. Oh, I had to have it selected. There you go. Okay. This is a little bit too big. I'm going to change the font back down to 30 maybe. And I think I'm going to do a couple different penguins up here. Look at all those pixels. That's exactly, this is a perfect example of how this is a raster-based program as opposed to a vector-based program. I'm going to actually go back and change what I did again, because in order to see how I'm filling out the head of my penguin, I need to be able to see the words that I'm making. Okay, we have that. What's next? Can you remember? I'm going to rasterize this actually first. Control click, rasterize type, Command T, to smart transform. You can start resizing it now. You can rotate it. I'm going to rotate it like this. If I want this to come out really, really dark, then I'm going to want my letters to be really close together. I'm going to Command click warp. I'm going to start to round this out over here. Maybe I'll slide this in. Ooh, that looks pretty good. That's going to look great when I put in the other area. Penguin. Okay. The program will tell you if it doesn't like what you're doing, like it just did. Okay. Enter. Penguin. Another layer. One more. Penguin. Control click, rasterize type, grabbing my move tool, moving this down, Command T, making it a little bit smaller. Maybe I'm going to have this be underneath its chin. Okay. Command click, or Control click, warp. Gonna play around with this a little bit. And that just got cranky. Maybe it could be like that. Yeah, that'll look better. Okay. Okay. One more time to fill in that little area. I'm going to go silent for a second as I try to focus on doing this really quickly. I had it enter. It wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do because I hadn't hit enter yet. Actually, don't like how that looks. Okay. One more. This one's going to be really teeny. Control T, Command T, sorry. Command, shrink it down, really tiny. Now, the reason that this is extra pixely is because my picture of a penguin was pretty small to start. So picking a larger image to start with will make this less pixely, but I think it'll still look good when we're finished. And remember, these are just kind of short 1 or 2 days exercises, so don't feel like you have to get too wrapped up in making it completely perfect. But if you really like it and you want to spend some extra time on it to fill it out or try something that's a little bit more advanced, then by all means, you're always welcome to come in outside of class and keep working on these. Okay. I'm just going to finish this one little part. Now, for you guys, and then, see, you can't even really see that, what it says. I'm going to go back to make it smaller. And my penguin head. Going through all of these once I find the right layer, and I'm filling them all in black. Okay. So now when I go and I hide my penguin, I can start to see the head. And granted, it looks very pixely right now, but when I back up, it's not going to look that bad. Could definitely be better. All right, I am going to pause for a moment, and then I'm going to start the video up again after I've done a little bit more work in here, so you don't have to watch me building this out for too much longer. So I'm going to